TV Morning News Updates. I am Abiodun Janet. We are glad you're joining us today. These are the highlights. Nigerian police release Polish nationals over end bad governance protests. Nigerian nurses stranded face deportation abroad over certificate verification. Ajairo's invitation, NLC directs members to converge on police commands. Federal government frees Polish students, lecturer detained over hunger protests. Nigerian government begs doctors to call off 7-day warning strike. Alleged terrorism financing, NLC president honors police invitation today. 16 burned to death in Ondo auto crash. Oil marketers endorse Naira-based crude sales, call for border security overhaul to end smuggling. Atiku Bodejo disagree over 2027 presidential ambition. 5 killed, scores injured, house shops razed as farmers herders clash in Niger. And in international news, US-China clash over Taiwan, Russia. Protests in Canada as 70,000 international students face deportation. More updates on the highlights after this short break. Stay tuned. Glad you're still with us. More news and updates coming up. Nigerian nurses stranded face deportation abroad over certificate verification. Hundreds of Nigerian nurses are stranded following the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria (NMCN) continuous closure of its portal for verification of nurses' certificate. It is gathered that while many nurses are currently stranded in different countries abroad, others are on the verge of being deported. Nursing boards in the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and the UK are said to have stopped accepting nursing certificates from Nigerian nurses because they can't verify their authenticity. The National Assembly had twice urged the NMCN to open its sites and commence verification of nurses and midwives based on its former guidelines pending the conclusion of an investigation by the House Committee on Health Institutions. Nigerian police release Polish nationals over end bad governance protests. The young Polish student and their teacher arrested in Kano during the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protests have been released. Poland's Foreign Minister Radoslaw disclosed this on Wednesday via X. The Nigerian government had arrested 7 Polish citizens in Kano over suspicion of their involvement in the brandishing of Russian flags during the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest. Faulting their arrest, the Polish authorities said they were a University of Warsaw student and a teacher who found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. However, it was said that the release of the group would return to Poland soon. According to him, he would like to confirm that the young people are already free back in Kano on campus with passports. NLC directs members to converge on police commands over Ajairo's invitation. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has directed the leaders of its 54 affiliate unions to accompany its president, Joe Ajaero, to the office of the Nigeria Police Force (NPF) today over alleged terrorism financing and other infractions. The Umbrella Labour Union asked Central Working Committee (CWC) members in Abuja to assemble at the Labour House by 8 a.m. today to accompany its president. for the police questioning. The NLC gave the directive in a circular by its General Secretary, Emmanuel Ngbohaja, and copied to all affiliate unions, state chapters, and national officers. Federal government frees Polish students lecturer detained over hunger protests. The Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced on Wednesday that a group of Polish students and a lecturer detained in Nigeria have been released. The University of Warsaw students are arrested earlier this month in Kano after being accused of raising Russian flags during anti-government protests. The protests, which began on August 4th, drew tens of thousands of Nigerians, major youth, into the streets, fueled by widespread discontent over President Bola Tinubu's economic reform. The reforms, including the partial removal of fuel subsidy and electricity subsidies and currency devaluation, have led to soaring inflation, causing severe economic strain across the country. Nigerian authorities initially claimed that the Polish nationals were actively involved in the protest by waving Russian flags and had that raised concerns given Russia's increasing presence in West Africa. However, the Polish Foreign Ministry quickly dismissed these allegations, stating that the students were simply near the protest and not participating in it. Nigerian government begs doctors to call off 7-day warning strike. The federal government has appealed to its members of the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, to call off their 7-day warning strike. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Tunji Alausa, made the appeal on Thursday in Kaduna during a visit to the National Eye Center. According to Alausa, negotiations are ongoing to ensure the safety of their kidnapped colleague, Dr. Ganiyat Bukwola. They are on top of the matter and have been on talking terms with the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, regarding the issue. They have spoken with the Commissioner of Police and everyone is working hard to see that she is released. The minister said that he had held a meeting on Monday with the leadership of NARD over the situation to convince them to call off the strike because it would worsen the situation. Alausa added that the kidnappers kept changing their demands every moment, but the security agencies were working hard to see that she is safely rescued. NLC President honors police invitation today over alleged terrorism financings. President of Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, will today appear at Force headquarters to honor a police summon over alleged criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime, 11 days after an invitation by the Intelligence Response Team, IRT, arm of the police. Leaders of industrial unions affiliated with NLC workers, civil society allies, and some lawyers, among others, are expected to accompany Ajaero to the police headquarters. NLC has also directed leaders of its state councils nationwide to mobilize and embark on a peaceful procession to state police commands and hold prayer sessions in solidarity with its president and organize labor over the current challenges facing the labor movement in the country. Similarly, the Nigerian Labour Union of Journalists NUJ has asked its Federal Capital Territory FCT chapter to mobilize Abuja-based journalists to the force headquarters in solidarity with NLC and its president, Joe Ajaero. "16 burned to death in Ondo auto crash." More updates on the highlights after this short break. Stay tuned. Glad you're still with us. More news and updates coming up. 16 burned to death in Ondo auto crash. 16 persons have been burned to death in an auto crash at AGBOOLA community along the Ore-Ondo Highway, Ondo State. 3 other persons were seriously injured while 2 others reportedly escaped unhurt. It was learned that the victims were burnt beyond recognition when the 2 vehicles involved, a Toyota Bus and a truck, went up in flames at 8 p.m. According to the eyewitness, a dangerous overtaking by one of the drivers led to the head-on collision that resulted in 2 vehicles bursting into flames. The source alleged that one of the drivers might have kept fuel in his vehicle, hence the fire incident. Contacted the Ondo Senior Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Ibitoye Samuel, who confirmed the incident, said rescue operation ended about 11 p.m. Ibitoye said investigations on what led to the incident had not been concluded. Ibitoye identified overspeeding as major cause of accidents on Nigeria roads. Oil marketers endorse Nigeria-based crude sales, call for border security overhaul to end smuggling. Administration on the directive to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) to sell crude oil in naira to Nigerian refineries. Speaking during a press briefing in Abuja, National President of the group, Mr. Bennett Corey, also urged the federal government to put a stop to the smuggling of petroleum products across Nigerian borders, arguing that smuggling was not enough reason to raise the local price of the products. Corey stressed that it means replacing the customs officials currently manning the borders. The government must do it to end the menace. According to him, these issues were central to the success of its actions at ensuring adequate access to and availability of refined petroleum products nationwide. Atiku Bodejo disagree over 2027 presidential ambition. Former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Bodejo, on Monday said Vice President Atiku Abubakar must wait until 2031 if it's desperate to run for president again. George, in a statement on Wednesday, said power would not return to the north, where Atiku is from, until 2031. But in a swift reaction, Atiku's media advisor, Paul Ibe, knocked George, describing his comment as insensitive and premature. But George, in a statement, argued that after the 8 years of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari in power, the South must also complete 8 years before power can return to the North in 2031. Recently, reports have surfaced of Atiku and other northern political leaders working to shift power back to the north in 2027, when President Bola Tinubu, a Southerner, will complete his first term in office. George, in a statement on Wednesday, argued that a Southerner must hold the office of the president from 2023 to 2031 because it is the reality of the country and PDP's constitution and their policy. However, George questioned Atiku's ambition for public office and urged him to follow the example of U.S. President Joe Biden by stepping aside for younger Southerners. More news and updates coming up after this short break. Stay tuned. More news and updates coming up soon. 5 killed, scores injured. Houses, shops razed as farmers' elders clash in Niger. 5 persons have been killed during a clash between farmers and elders in Baskuta, village of Boso local government area of Niger State. Besides those feared deaths, several others were said to have sustained injuries and are receiving treatment in health centers in Minna, the state's capital. It was gathered that many domestic animals were killed while many were also stolen during the fracas. The clash also left some houses and shops completely razed down within the community. The violence, it was gathered, started as a result of the killing of one Sule Mohammed by suspected herders in his farm and his corpse dumped in a stream near the farm. The deceased had earlier complained about the invasion of his farm and eventually destroyed by some cattle belonging to yet to be identified herder. Relatives of the deceased, after waiting endlessly for his return home, traced him to his farm only to meet his lifeless body in the stream. An alarm was subsequently raised in the village. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. International news, US-China clash over Taiwan, Russia. A senior Chinese military officer warned the United States to stop coalition with Taiwan. White House aide Jake Sullivan stressed the importance of stability in the tense strait. In a rare one-on-one meeting Thursday, both sides said. Sullivan arrived in Beijing on Tuesday, the first U.S. National Security Advisor to visit China since 2016 for 3 days of talks with Foreign Minister Wang Yi and other high-ranking officials. The visit came as China became embroiled in security rows with U.S. allies Japan and the Philippines. On Thursday morning, Sullivan met with senior Chinese Army Chief Zhang Yozia at the Beijing headquarters of the Central Military Commission. Protests in Canada as 70,000 international students face deportation. Foreign students are protesting in Canada following plans by the authorities to deport them on account of a new policy on immigration. They are mounting pressure on the Justice-led government to rescind its decision on the comparative restrictive opportunities for education and work permit. No fewer than 15,000 of the total 70,000 foreign students are Nigerians studying in various Canadian universities, according to the Canadian Embassy. A report by City News Toronto stated that approximately 70,000 foreign students are participating in the nationwide across provinces, including Prince Edward Island, Ontario, Manitoba, and British Columbia. In 2021, the work permits for international students under the Postgraduation Work Permit (PGWP) program